Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It is the Drip King, Jimmy Bebe. As you can see, there's no crown, but that doesn't mean I'm not a king. It's just getting cleaned up at the shop. You know how that goes. I am joined, as always, by my partner in crime, one of the two down below. We got Albert. Albert, how have you been doing today, bud?
Doing great, man. Sorry. It's actually, guys, the reason why we're late is my fault. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. This is one of those days today. But what a great week of wrestling, right? It's another fun week.
And I can forgive you for being late because I am joined by the most special of guests, as I just told everybody on the Twitch machine. It is my wrestling soulmate, I believe. It's from Wrestling With Your Thoughts, Nick. Also, Wrestling Legion, his new show he's got going on. I promoted it a few times.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
You should know him by now if you're listening to me, everybody.
Yep.
But Nick, the Geek, how have you been doing? And thank you for joining, man.
Nah, man, it's a pleasure to be here, Jimmy. I haven't seen you in a while, so it's great to be here. You know me, I love working. Right? I love doing this. I love talking about wrestling. I love people who love talking about wrestling, and I love people who love talking about wrestling without shitting all over it all the time. Like, it's a big problem of mine. Just a quick minor rant. Why do you all feel necessary to hate on people all the time? Like, these guys bust their ass in the ring and on the microphone to entertain you, and all you do is complain. It makes no sense. And there's so much that you can watch now. Like, we are in a golden age like never before when it comes to professional wrestling, and I don't understand how people can't love it. It baffles me.
Thank you very much. Again, that's literally what I be telling y'all all the time. So that don't tell you what it is. And then here you go, man. It says I don't even believe in soulmates, so you better feel special. What she says, everything's looking good, connection's good, and just so y'all know, there's a storm happening right now. So if you lose me, that's what it is. I'm not leaving y'all. It's just a storm going on. But hey, guys, she's excited.
Hey, Amanda. Hello.
So not to make light of things, Jimmy, but are you trying to say stand back? There's a hurricane coming through?
Not yet. But I'm not jinxing it. We've been good this year. But yeah, when there is a hurricane, I take the hurricane figure down to the bay and I do the traditional, like just putting them through the thing. Yeah, I do the hurricane. I'm a mark, everybody, in case you didn't know. But now that all that's out of the way, let's get started on the show. We're going to go ahead and start with the SummerSlam predictions because I feel the Dom thing might go a little bit over, and then I'm going to squeeze in some collision talk because I fucking love the show so much. So SummerSlam, let's go ahead and start with the rumored matches because we have a whole week. They could still add some. Right now, we're sitting at 7. The magic number has been 6 to 8, so I can see him adding at least one of these two. We'll just real quick say if we think it's going to happen, who we think might win. Obviously, if it's not on the card yet, it doesn't deserve that much time, unfortunately, compared to the rest of the card. Not to downgrade the matches, though, because they're still really cool. Just they're not on the card yet, so we don't even know. Rumored match number 1 really just depends on if Raquel comes back tomorrow. Could we possibly get a Raw Women's Championship between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez? I will go with Nick first, guest of honor. What say you, sir?
Hell yes, please. I believe Raquel's injury was a work to cover up Liv's injury so they could drop the titles. And now they are going to use Liv's injury and Rhea Pillmanizing her arm as a revenge angle for Raquel to come in and beat them up. Because realistically, who doesn't want to see the two strongest women in the division go at it? Like, that will be something we have never got before in women's wrestling in WWE, which is a power match.
Yeah.
You don't get power matches. But if it does happen, Rhea ain't dropping that belt.
No. Definitely dropping that belt. And anybody who watched Rhea's final match in NXT, it was against Raquel.
Yes,
and it was awesome. It was just a physical contest that it was when I started to, I guess, take notice of Raquel. So, Albert, what say you, sir? Do you see this match happening? And percentage-wise, what are Raquel's chances here?
I think it's a natural progression at this point. I think that it would be stupid for WWE to not feature Rhea on a SummerSlam card right now. She is so over. It's ridiculous. She may be, and it's hard to, we'll talk about the Judgment Day, later when Dominik comes up, but it's hard to say, but she might be the most over person in the entire group. And I mean, that's in a group of Finn Balor, Dominik, and Damian Priest. I said maybe. maybe the most over out of all of them. And if not, it's her and Dom get more heat than anybody else on the entire show. She is a star. She is the stud of the division. There's no way she's losing the title, but I think it does happen. And I think they put on a great match. You put up their match in NXT. They had a whole feud in NXT. They had 2 or 3 matches, and they were all awesome physical contests. Give me all that. It'll be a complete change of pace from our other 2 women's matches that we're probably going to see at SummerSlam. So I love it.
What's Raquel's chances?
About 0.5%.
Okay.
On a good day.
I basically just agree with what y'all say, so we can just move on because there's no way Rhea would lose this match. I don't know if it happens though. I hope it does. I don't know. Again, it just depends on how well they want to sell that knee that Rhea kicked out on Raquel.
Yeah.
I hope that if they do it, I hope they play it up a little bit more so that it's like, oh, she wasn't at her best, so that when they have a rematch, it'll be bigger. Yeah.
All right. Second rumor match, I would see this one going on before Rhea's, unfortunately. Becky versus Trish Stratus. Still hasn't been announced for SummerSlam, but the whole storyline has kind of progressed to where it should be happening at SummerSlam. So, with that said, is this match going to be added to the card, Nick? And if so, is Trish going to finally kick Trish back to Canada and get her off Raw for good?
In short, yes. In long form, God, I hope so, please. I love Trish Stratus. I think she has done a phenomenal job as a heel since she has come back. Like, that woman has proved that she was ahead of her time. And now, can you imagine if she was still in her prime and working in the division now? Like, it'd be incredible. She's done wonders for Becky. She's totally revitalized her character as a babyface, which Becky thoroughly needed after that god-awful big-time Bex run that they were shoving down everybody's throat, trying to make her act like Conor friggin' McGregor, which made zero. Oh, you're Irish. Act like him. That's not racist at all, honest. But no, this happens at SummerSlam. I think it's a 95% chance this is happening at SummerSlam. And I think it's about a 190% chance that Becky is going to send her back to Canada.
Okay, Albert. So I would assume you probably would think Trish is winning this as well, if it happens. Do you think there's any possibility that Zoe Stark comes into play in helping Becky dismiss Trish here?
So here's my thing. The one thing that I thought the WWE was doing a really good job with is not only keeping revitalizing Becky's character, keeping Trish as a heel, but also really highlighting Zoe Stark. I don't like the fact that we haven't gotten an ally for Becky Lynch. I would have rather this be a tag team match. I think for the simple reason that it puts Zoe Stark in the ring on SummerSlam with these top tier wrestlers. It gets another woman on the card. It makes for me, it made a lot more sense. I don't think they need a singles match blow off. We've seen them have singles matches before. I don't need it. I'd rather just see some sort of a funky ending with a good story. But I do think it's going to happen. I do think Becky beats Trish. I don't know if Trish goes away immediately, but she's not staying for much longer. Maybe a couple of weeks to finish out the story with Zoe. And I think that Trish's. But to speak to Nick's point, man, it is 100% unreal that if Trish was in her prime right now, how much better that women's division would be. Man, she is so good playing on both sides of the coin. It's amazing. You forget how good she was.
Yeah, she's really taken the heel character this time around and just went with it. What I do want to happen before Trish leaves, I want Zoe Stark to put her hands on her. And I just want her to walk out on her after she says, "Thank you, Trish," and just leaves. She used her, got what she needed from her, and then, boot, get out of here, Trish. So whether that happens at SummerSlam, whether that happens at the Raw after, whenever it happens, I do want that to be a finality there because I think that would help Zoe Stark really progress and go to the next level and be looked at as a, bigger deal. I do think this match gets that. I will be 100%. I would be shocked at this point if they don't get Trish and Becky on the card. Because what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think this is the longest lasting women's storyline going right now. So get it on the show.
One of many in the WWE right now, which is a great thing to see.
Well, if you don't include the storyline of Charlotte Flair dressing like members of Spandau Ballet every week.
I did this earlier, and for the people who love doing math and stopwatches and putting all those things out there, I missed a few girls. There's literally 18 women involved in storylines right now in WWE television right now. So to anybody out there, again, I said it on Twitter, I'll say it again here. Anybody out there that thinks that the division isn't at least improving under Triple H, bye. You don't like facts because 18 different women are involved in one storyline or another.
Well, you know the internet.
Intertwining. So it's like...
You know the internet, they're only going to highlight when they think that people did something wrong. So if Triple H doesn't put a wrestling match between two women on a SmackDown episode, and I know this to be a fact, I was at the MSG episode where they Seth Rollins and Edge ran over and they canceled Zelina Vega's match, unfortunately, in Madison Square Garden. I was there. People were livid. But he had purposefully been doing an amazing job up until that 1 week, highlighting the women's division. And then they had 1 week where it wasn't that good. And then they went right back to being solid every single week. They love to highlight when things aren't going well. When they are going well, they don't give anybody credit.
And this is an unfortunate truth.
I'll also say, I do believe they need more time. I'm not going to sit there and say that's not a case. They definitely need more time. But what I'm saying is it's clearly getting better. And
just compare what they're doing in WWE to what friggin' Tony Khan's doing.
I'm not a guy that does this stuff anymore because I'm pissed off way too many people. But I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I love AEW. Everyone knows this. I just love wrestling. I don't care what company it is. I love it. Yeah. But if you compare the women's division in WWE to the way that Tony books the women over there, it's like night and day.
Yeah.
You can't even compare. It's just, I don't understand. It's like the other thing, minor thing. Why does everyone keep blaming Vince for everything now?
Because he's back.
Yeah. But Vince just had a 7-hour major back surgery and haven't been at a show in 2 weeks. Yet everyone was blaming Vince for SmackDown this Friday.
It's that
he wasn't there.
They've been doing it for so long that they just don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Vince is going to be gone for 5 years. Like, he's going to be in the dirt, and people are still going to be going like, well, he had a plan written out, and they have to go by the plan. Or they've got him in a Futurama head situation where he's still alive, and people are...
He wrote 18 years of storylines in his will that they have to follow. There's going back.
All right, so now we'll go to the card. First match we will touch on. Man, my writing, we were talking about this before. My writing's terrible. SummerSlam Battle Royal has been announced. We know 2 people in it. Maybe a few. I don't know if all the Brawling Brutes are in it, but we know for sure Sheamus and LA Knight will be in it. We don't know how many people will be in it, but early goings, who's your pick to win this? And it's literally just a wild card at this point because, again, we don't know who's in it.
Realistically, if I don't mind me going first, we all know that his push was apparently delayed till after SummerSlam. Well, perfect time to start a post-SummerSlam push is at the SummerSlam event. So if they do not give this to LA Knight, I don't know what the hell they're doing. That man is the most unnaturally over thing they've had other than Dom, but it's the opposite reaction.
Yeah.
He is crazy. Like Andy went to Money in the Bank, and the reaction that LA Knight got is insane.
It's been growing. Like at Rumble, I was hearing it. It just wasn't translating to television yet. But I was like, it's coming. It's coming, baby. I can hear it.
to call a spade, he's 41 years old. Right? They need to do this now. They can't afford to wait 2 years. They can't afford to build him for 7 months and then go, we're going to push him now. They need to do this now. Strike while the iron is hot. No. A lot of people always tell me, no, be patient. It's coming. It's like Steve Austin went through being the ringmaster before he got to where he was. But Steve Austin was in his late 30s. This guy is already 41. He needs to be pushed. He's the most over guy. Like, why people complain that he's just doing an impression of The Rock and Steve Austin? So
it works. It works.
I have said, right, Ric Flair just ripped off Nature Boy Buddy Rogers and Buddy Landau. Hulk Hogan is a carbon copy of Superstar Billy Graham and about 8 other guys. Yeah, which he said in an interview many times. He's admitted it. Wrestling is just taking from the past to build the present. That's what it is. It's nostalgia on juice.
LA Knight is a lot like what I was saying about Dom a few weeks ago, where back in the day, work rate guys got over because there wasn't enough of them. And it was like, this is really impressive because no one else is doing it. But now everyone's a work rate guy.
Yeah.
So you have very few people who are just over and just really good at doing stuff like Dom and LA Knight. He's one of those kind of guys where he's the minority here, but it's really awesome because it's working so well.
Oh yeah.
With everybody saying, "Hey, Knight. Yeah." What about you, my man? Just just throwing a name out because we clearly don't know what's happening. Who would you say is going to win this SummerSlam Battle Royale?
If this is not a vehicle for LA Knight to win, to get, to go further, look, we see what the U.S. title match is. I'm not saying there isn't a chance that Santos Escobar, doesn't walk away with that title. But I think seeing how over LA Knight is, you course correct at this point. Something's got to give. The man's talked about wanting to win championships. You know how you do it? You have a battle royal. You put a stipulation next week on it that the winner gets a shot at, a championship on their brand. Boom. Ready-made storyline. LA Knight wins. He's got a great, and let's face it, Theory needs a guy he can play off of. And I think LA Knight's the perfect guy. And to speak on what Nick was saying, well, that too. But to speak on what Nick was saying earlier, the whole thing about LA Knight and being compared to Austin and The Rock, I would be elated if someone compared me to two of the three biggest draws in the history of pro wrestling. Like, why would anybody be upset about that? And the people are like
being compared to David Flair and the Shockmaster.
Blows my mind. Like,
would you rather be?
Hey, but my point is that it's funny to me that a lot of people, when we first saw Ricky Starks, said, "Man, that kid is like The Rock 2.0. And that was the greatest thing in the world. But when LA Knight does things that remind you of Rock or Austin, it's the worst thing in the world.
It's the same fans, by the
way,
that were praising Ricky for being like The Rock are the ones that are berating LA Knight for being like The Rock and Austin.
Hey, I don't understand
it. Y'all can see my hands. I'm not saying anything here. This is not me saying this. I agree. But I'm not saying it, everybody.
Jimmy didn't say a thing. I said it. If you don't like it, at me on Twitter.
Attack me, please. Knock yourself out.
But go for it. I love it.
Here's what I will say about LA Knight and this Battle Royal. I saw someone bring up an interesting point. It's the Slim Jim Battle Royal. And if this is whoever wins this becomes the next spokesperson for Slim Jim, there's no way in hell LA Knight doesn't win this thing.
No.
Yeah.
He does the shows. He's charismatic. Like, he is made for that kind of stuff. So yes, but I don't think LA Knight should win this Battle Royal because I think if you want to give him a push, you kind of have to give him a storyline to start with. And I think the best way to do it is to have someone screw him out of this Battle Royal because we all want him to win it. And you have someone like Bronson Reed, who is on Raw, so it doesn't work, or a Karrion Kross, who are trying to get over as a heel, screw him over, and then put him in a feud with them because, one, by association, they're going to automatically boo the shit out of those guys because they want LA Knight to win. And then LA Knight can win, and then his push begins.
Just a minor thought. Bobby is currently rebuilding the Hurt business by the looks of things. What if this Battle Royal is literally a vehicle for that group?
Exactly. I think everyone's just tunnel vision. It's like LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight. No, you gotta.
Because I'm under the impression that Mello is losing the title to Ilya at Great American Bash, then moving up to the main roster, and him and Trick are going to be with Bobby and the crew.
That's a crazy group of people.
You put the Street Profits and Bianca Belair in there.
It's almost too much talent for one group. It's going to be so good.
Right.
Here's an interesting name too, Grayson Waller. I wouldn't be mad at Grayson, but I don't think he'll be in.
I love Grayson. I think he's hilarious, and he's a good worker too. But
I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see the inevitable Grayson Waller versus LA Knight feud. I think that's going to be mic work like you've never seen before. Those guys are going to blow it out of the water together.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So we're all in agreement here that it's most likely LA Knight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. I think it would almost be a mistake too, because you look at all the people who won these battle royals before and never did anything for them. So
no. But have the Hurt Business unite, screw LA Knight out of it, and turn heel. Then have Knight feud with the Hurt Business for the next 2-3 months.
The best way to get him going with us is with a storyline, and that's a good one. I'd take that all day.
They've satiated the wrestling fans on Twitter. They put LA Knight on the pay-per-view. That's what everybody's been wanting. They want him in matches. They want him on pay-per-views. He's there. So they're doing what you want. If they have to slow build him a little bit, it's okay. I don't understand how Triple H hasn't earned people's trust with the way that things are going with the Bloodline and Cody. We saw Cody get screwed. Everybody was like, this is the worst decision ever. And a month later, everybody was like, all right, well, I guess I kind of see where they're going. You know what I mean? Like, just trust the man.
That's the thing. Everyone's seen my vlog from WrestleMania. I was so angry after the Cody Rhodes main event. I was so angry. But let him cook.
I'll listen to your anger before I listen to theirs. You wanted the moment for yourself. It was selfish, and I get it. I was 100% on board. Like, I want selfish moments when I'm there, too.
Exactly.
But if you weren't there, you're like, yeah, Cody shouldn't win. This should.
Yeah. If I wasn't going, it made more sense for Roman to keep the title, especially with 1,000 days rolling up as it was. There was realistically no chance in hell, no Vince pun intended, that he was going to win that belt. Roman had to go for it. And I still think there's a chance he's going for Hogan's. It's not happening because it's going to be next September.
Yeah.
He'd have to hold the belt.
You've been listening to somebody for too much there. Well, for there, we'll go to the next match. We're going to go to Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in what looks to be Ronda Rousey's final match with WWE. So, with that said, is there any chance in hell that Shayna Baszler doesn't go over here?
Albert?
It's WWE. There's always a smidgen of a chance that that's the case. But I think that this feud is a legit vehicle for Ronda Rousey to put her friend over on the way out the door. Which, look, say what you want. Since Rousey's been back and she's teamed with Shayna, she kind of, to me, reignited what I saw when she was a single star prior to that. You know, a lot of people...
When Ronda's not involved in the main title scene, I love her. When she's in the title scene, it's like she's a completely different person.
Yeah, I agree. I actually don't mind this Ronda Rousey, like this version of Ronda Rousey, being around a little bit longer. She hasn't been getting on my nerves. She hasn't been making me like, oh, great, here we go again. She's working with it. She's trying to get storylines for other women that aren't featured in the story. In the title picture. I love it. At the end of the day, though, I hope this is a fight pit match because we heard Shayna say it's going to be a fight. I really hope it's going to be a fight pit match. If it's not, regardless, I think Shayna wins. I think it's going to be I think this is going to be the shocker of the night, and it's going to be a great match, and everybody's going to go, oh, man, well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's a bad thing that we booed Ronda for all this time.
Yeah, they'll have hindsight.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I'll ask you, have you been impressed with Shayna during this rivalry?
Yes.
Thank you.
I am a huge fan of Shayna Baszler. I've been a huge fan of Shayna Baszler since her Shimmer days.
Yeah.
When she was teaming with, what's her name?
Maurice?
The one no, not Marina Shafir, the other one.
Jessamine Duke, something like that.
Yeah. When she was teaming with them back in the Shimmer days. And she was being trained by the woman who just lost the Ring of Honor Women's title to Athena a year ago.
I can't remember.
Neither can I. Just doing my head in. She was on Collision this week.
Mercedes Martinez.
Thank you. That supposed me. But since she was teaming with Mercedes, who trained Shayna Baszler, by the way, for anybody who didn't know that random fact, Shayna has impressed me for years. Triple H turned her into an absolute killer.
Yeah.
She was the female Samoa Joe, and I've described her as that for years now.
I love that comparison.
Anybody that didn't see this coming, by the way, doesn't play Warhammer. Because Shayna Baszler has been wearing Horus Heresy armor as her ring attire. Horus Heresy. Horus is the son of the Emperor who in Warhammer turned on the Emperor and tried to bring down his empire. Ronda is the Emperor of mankind. Shayna is Horus.
Is this the game that Ronda's in?
No. Okay. Ronda's in that stupid Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay. I was just making sure. I was like, man, that's a crazy connection. If that's that's wild. But okay.
No. Shayna is a huge Warhammer 40k fan. It's a tabletop war game based on the Games Workshop.
I've heard her mention it a few times.
Yeah. Well, all of her gear is Horus armor.
Okay.
She wears from the Sons of Horus Legion, and Horus is the guy who took down the Emperor and betrayed the king. Well, Ronda's the queen of the fight division. And seeing Shayna dress this way and bring it down, anyone who didn't see it coming at the last pay-per-view, you're not as much of a nerd as I am.
I didn't see it. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but just that was like so out of nowhere. I was like, that's kind of crazy. I like it. I liked it.
Well, I loved it because we were watching it. Ronda was dressed as Majin Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, which was kind of cool. Yep. But the fact that Shayna came out in Horus gear, I instantly went, oh, something's going to happen here. Because she's been slowly going from wearing the loyalist legions to wearing the traitor legions over the last few months. Her gear changes to the void.
How about that? That's cool.
I love that. What a great touch.
That's great. I agree with you 100%, Harry. It was a horrible feud, and it's probably the last bad thing Ronda's done. If I'm being honest. And this is coming from one of the biggest Ronda haters there's been. Like, I think she's been great since the
I work with a man called Simon who absolutely adores Ronda Rousey and refers to her as the first black woman to ever wrestle main event WrestleMania. Ronda's words, not his. I'm probably going to get hate for that one, but what do you?
No, I know exactly where it came from.
Yeah. All right. Now, Simon adores Ronda Rousey, and he adores everything she does in the wrestling ring. And she does not get enough credit, and it's because of who she is that she doesn't get the credit that she deserves. From the day she came into the business, she got it in the ring. She's never been smooth. She's never been clean, but she's been believable. And sometimes that's all you need in a wrestling feud is to be believable. And Ronda is believable. And in this one, she's even more believable because she's working with somebody she legit wants to work with. It's her best friend.
Yeah.
I honestly think this match is going to absolutely kill it.
Yep.
Like, they're going to beat the snot out of each other, and it's going to be awesome.
I can see Ronda looking at this as like, okay, everyone thinks I've been so bad. I've done this and I've done that. If I do one thing right, I'm going to put my friend over if it's the last thing I do. Because Shayna hasn't been Shayna since she lost to Becky at WrestleMania. Nope. That's a damn shame. Because Becky was like, please let her win. And they're like, no. It's like, why not?
It's like, why did they have her win the Elimination Chamber in the way she won? Yeah. By just destroying all of them systematically. And then go, no, but you can't beat Becky. There's no fans, so we're not changing the title. What?
Shayna is Horace. Which Horace? Horace Hogan? Yes, Shayna is Horace Hogan. So we all got Shayna winning this one then as well.
And let's also, just to put a bow on it, let's also just reiterate the idea. Look, selfishly, if Ronda Rousey goes out with a banger match, that only helps Ronda Rousey too. Because in a year when she's sitting at home and she's like, you know what? Hey, you got anything for me? You know, like I want to go like 3 or 4 months. Her music's going to hit and people are going to be like, oh, okay, great, Ronda's back. Instead of it being, oh man, Ronda's here.
Should be able to come collect some WrestleMania checks.
Yeah, and you know what? More power to it. It adds more star power to the card. I'm fine with it.
All right, so we will move on from there, and we will go on to what I think it might end up being the match that steals the whole night. We got Logan Paul taking on Ricochet. Now, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked you. What about Shayna Baszler? Has Ricochet impressed you during this feud? Nick, go ahead first. You're over there rubbing it. Go ahead.
I love Trevor, Ricochet man.
Yeah.
I've met him 5 times. He's the nicest human being in the world. And if you have never seen this man live, you haven't seen Ricochet.
Yeah.
Like, the stuff he is physically able to do defies logic. There is nobody that should be able to do what he can do physically without it costing them something.
At one point, I heard Stone Cold refer to him as the absolute most amazing in-ring person he's ever seen.
Yeah, right. I'll refer back to a match that went viral 5 years ago that he had with Will Ospreay in New Japan that broke the internet.
He hates Ricochet so bad.
Right, but it broke the internet. And everyone thought, oh, yeah, that's just because Will's in it. And Will's the flippiest guy in the world. It wasn't. It's because Ricochet was in it. Yeah. Ricochet did stuff in that match that I've never seen before or since. Right? Ricochet has thoroughly impressed me. I think giving him a microphone was a very risky proposition for Triple H. Ricochet has never been the best talker in the world, but he's kind of doing the basic babyface. I do it for the fan shtick, but it's working.
Yeah.
And he's believable in his delivery. And the whole thing with Logan, who I don't care what anyone says about Logan Paul, the guy gets it.
Yeah.
Right? He gets it. He went on his podcast and called Ricochet unprofessional. And he didn't do it once. He did it like 90 times throughout that podcast. He kept referring back to the Money in the Bank match and referring back to how he's hurt because of Ricochet. And the guy's an unprofessional. He tried to end my career. Pick. It's perfect.
It's a great spot for Ricochet.
It's perfect for him. One, he will give Logan Paul the match of his life. Right? Because Logan will be able to do stuff in this match that he wouldn't be able to do with anybody else on the roster. Like Ricochet
So
can
that
do
athleticism.
stuff. Yeah, Ricochet can do stuff that no one else can do. So you put someone in there with Logan, who is a natural athlete. He's a prick, but he's a natural athlete. They're going to smash it. I am so excited for this match. And I agree with the comment then. I think Logan's winning. I think this is his first big win since last year's SummerSlam.
Albert, what do you think the chances here are for Ricochet to, I guess, wrap this whole thing up in a nice little bow and be like, all right, I've arrived. I've delivered with my promos. I've delivered with all these segments. I came out of SummerSlam with a victory. What are the chances that happens?
The first two, I think you hit the nail on the head. The last one's probably not going to happen. Look, here's my thing. Look, I love Ricochet. I really do. But Logan Paul is one of those guys that at this point needs a win. He just, he's been there for enough time that he's earned the equity to get a win on a bigger stage in a singles match. We've seen him win tag matches. We haven't seen him. I think he beat The Miz one-on-one, right?
Yeah. Okay,
so he's won one singles match, but since then he wrestled the two best wrestlers in WWE. He wrestled Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And he hung with them both. And did an amazing job. Now he's in there with a guy who is, I guess, more of his skill set. Yeah, more of his style. And Ricochet has been, in my opinion, been killing it. I think this is the vehicle that takes Ricochet from just being another guy on the roster to being somebody a little bit more special. I think they need to sprinkle a little bit of that Rey Mysterio dust on Ricochet. And
wrong guy. Rob Van Dam dust is what they need.
Oh, well, I'm all about that. I'm just talking about booking-wise, the way they gave Ray, making him that ultimate underdog babyface character.
Yeah.
It works so perfect for a guy like Ricochet because everybody wants to see him because every time they see him, he's going to do something super cool.
The kids love him, and you could market the hell out of him. Like,
absolutely.
It's kind of, of all people, Vince, too, to not do it. It's kind of wild.
Right. But you got to remember, Vince title. He gave, Vince put Ricochet in some good positions at points too.
He never really went full in on him though. That's
I agree.
Quick question, yes or no answer. Do you think Ricochet would have ever got this opportunity with Vince McMahon in charge? No. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like they've given him moments to be like, okay, let's see what you can do, but they've never really got behind him to the point where Triple H literally said, Ricochet, I'm gonna literally put a microphone in your hands and you need to do it. And Ricochet said, I appreciate the confidence, and he's done a damn good job at. I feel like he hasn't been anything spectacular, but he's done a good job. He's helped sell this, and now I'm going to shock you. You guys are picking Logan Paul. I think Ricochet wins. I think if you're going to put Ricochet in this moment and he's going to deliver the way he has, to not let him win would be just – you could literally have him have a run after this.
Yeah. That super kick moment's going to go viral. You may as well capitalize on it, right?
You got to. And because if people tune in to see this guy lose to Logan Paul, who's not a wrestler, it's like, okay, well, why should I care about this guy anymore? So that's the kind of my view in it.
Also,
Logan Paul will most likely win. I think Ricochet is going to pull it out. Brain says Logan Paul. Heart says Ricochet.
I'd really like to see Ricochet go into a feud with Gunther for the IC title after this.
Oh, I would love that.
Because I've seen them wrestle on the indies, and watching Gunther literally chop Ricochet out of the air is one of the most satisfying things you'll ever see as a wrestling fan.
And they have great matches in WWE already. Like they every time they're in the ring together, they tear it down. Yeah. Give me more.
Yeah, so every time.
From there, we will great segue because we're going to go right into Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental Championship, with the Intercontinental title record for most days coming up next month. Is there any chance in hell that Drew McIntyre walked out of SummerSlam with the Intercontinental Championship? Nick's over there saying no. So, Albert, I'm going to go to you first. He's disrespecting Drew over here, and I can't have that. My son will get mad.
I feel like we talked about this like a couple of streams ago. Maybe it was when Drew came back. We were like, okay, this is the natural progression. Drew's going to go after Gunther. He's going to have the Intercontinental title match. And I was like, this is it. This is where you have to pull the trigger. If Drew's going to come back, he's got to be the guy to beat Gunther. I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong. Gunther should win. He should maintain the Intercontinental Championship. He's bringing prestige to it. If it was up to me, Gunther shouldn't lose the Intercontinental title until Cody wins the world title, so that Gunther can then go up against Cody and say, I've defended this. No one's beaten me for it. I don't give a crap about anything else. I'm the rightful number one contender. Let's go.
All right.
He's over there groaning. What's the matter over there, Nick?
Right. See, now then, Cody needs to win the title. This is true. But I've been having a lot of talks about this over the last few weeks. And he doesn't need to go into Mania to win the title. He can win the title before Mania. So why not have Gunther win the Royal Rumble as Intercontinental Champion to wrestle a champion Cody in a Hogan Warrior WrestleMania 6 style situation?
This is the scenario I said should happen if Cody would have won at Mania. This is exactly what happens. Yeah.
I'll go to Philly. Like 100%. If that's the main event of WrestleMania, I'm in Philly. 100%. I'm already thinking about going anyway. I'm there.
Albert, you've got to go. I'm traveling and I live in England and I'm going to Philly.
We're going.
It's
all right.
Mania 40,
I'll see you guys there then. All right.
You can't not go. It's Mania 40.
Yeah, I know. I'm not far either.
This trip.
I'm not far either, so I'm going to do it. That's it. I guess that's it. I have to do it. So I'm there.
Right, so we got sidetracked by Cody there for a second. Nick, what does Drew win?
No,
man.
Right. I love Drew. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Drew Galloway, McIntyre, whatever you want to call him. But
Drew
Honky Tonk's record needs to die. Like, for the sake of professional wrestling, that man needs to not have this taken away from him. So I don't have to listen to a podcast every month where he turns around and goes, I got the longest Intercontinental title reign of all time. It's like, shut up. You're 107. The only reason you held the belt for that long is because Ultimate Warrior wouldn't sign a contract for a year. And then the moment he did sign a contract, you lost the belt to him in 29 seconds. So the only reason he held the IC title for so long was because he was a natural heel that nobody liked. But look, he is. I'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to Cody later.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there for a little bit.
But Gunther needs to hold that belt forever, as far as I'm concerned. He has done something that nobody has managed to do since The Miz, which is put some prestige back on the Intercontinental Championship. That belt has meant nothing for 3.5 years. They've put it on Gunther, and boom, it is the belt, the match, the show on the card. Like at WrestleMania, they had the best match. Outside of Charlotte and Rhea, they had the best match. That triple threat was phenomenal.
It's debatable, yeah. There was 3 just fantastic matches. So
like
it was definitely one of them.
But it was phenomenal. Drew now gets a singles match against the General. I can't wait for this. Like, Drew is impeccable at what he does, but I compare Gunther to Andre the Giant. Not in his physique, not in his stature, in his aura and his presence.
Yeah.
If anybody has the opportunity, Simon brought it up today, watch Progress Chapter 187, Hello Wembley. It's from Wembley Arena. It's the biggest show Progress ever did, and the main event is Tyler Bate versus Walter at the time for the Progress World Heavyweight Championship. And it's basically Hogan Andre, but with a lot more athleticism.
Yeah.
And this is what Gunther's brought to WWE when I see him. It's aura, it's presence. He's the perfect wrestler.
So, if it's not Drew, do we see him never dropping the title until he wins the World Heavyweight Championship then?
I hope.
Because I can't think of any. If it's not Drew, I can't think of someone that I look at and be like, I can buy him beating Gunther. I think
the only guy I would have.
There's only one guy that springs into my mind, but Nick, please go first.
I would have said Rey Mysterio, but they're on different shows.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
They're on different shows.
This ain't 2010, man. We're done doing that.
It's got to be a guy. In my opinion, it's got to be someone that they're building to be, they're putting their almost everything behind. The only person in my mind that comes to mind that I think could even possibly get to that moment right there because of how high they are on him is Braun Breaker. That's it. I don't see anybody else like that's young that needs the rub to get to that next level more than a guy like Braun.
Right. He does need the rub. He also needs wrestling lessons.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree with you there. I'm just saying they seem to be very high on him. I don't
high on him. He does a fantastic impression of Scott Steiner.
Same Harry.
Yeah.
He does a fantastic impression of his Uncle Scott. I agree with you that Braun needs to be pushed when he comes up, and he should go for the mid-card title. Jesus Christ, keep him away from the main event. He ain't ready. He's
not.
We'll say he's a lot more ready now as a heel than he was a babyface.
Oh,
he can mask himself in that whole attitude and stuff.
Yeah, it works.
So So you guys got Gunther winning here, retaining.
Yeah. As much as I'd love to see Drew do it, I don't think he's
I'm
got
gonna
a snowball's chance.
I'm gonna agree with Harry here. I think Drew wins by DQ at least.
I like that too. I'm okay with that.
No, I'm fine with that. As long as Gunther leaves with the belt, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because then the next PLE is after the title, after the record, correct?
Yeah, it is.
So then he could just drop it the next one. The record's gone. Drew gets the title, and then everyone's happy.
I think it's September the 12th is Honky Tonk Man's record.
Okay.
They did that with New Day. They broke Demolition's record and they lost the title to the next pay-per-view. So
yeah.
So yeah, I think Drew wins at least by DQ. I've said since he came back, went after Gunther, I thought he was going to win. I'm not going to back out now. I'll stick to it. I'm probably wrong.
You see, I'd really like him to do a time limit draw, but they don't do time limits in WWE.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Listen for it though, because if you hear many ring it up, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So from there, we will go on to the, what is it? The Asuka has the
WWE Women's Championship.
Yes. Okay. So Asuka will defend her WWE Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. Nick, I will just go ahead and ask you, who is walking out of SummerSlam with that title?
Woo! There you go. She's getting a fifth. She's
bullshit.
No, sorry, dude. Right. Charlotte Flair doesn't exist without a world championship. They've changed her music. They've taken her away from being Rick as much as possible. They've changed her
still
roots.
Does the damn strutting stuff.
Yep, she still will, and she always will. But Charlotte Flair is going to get to 16. It's going to happen. And unfortunately, that can't happen unless people lose. I also believe, and it's just me, that they want to get to a Bianca-Charlotte singles match for the title. Because realistically, Bianca's the best athlete in the division. I know I get a lot of hate for this. Charlotte's the best in-ring, all-round women's wrestler on the planet.
When she wants to be.
When she wants to be.
Okay.
I'll let you prefix it with that.
Yes.
When she wants to be. Asuka, I love, but she's not working as champion. It's every time.
Given her a chance.
No, they haven't given her a chance. They haven't given her a chance, and I don't think they're going to give her a chance. All I want is it to be Io Shirai versus Asuka in a singles match, because they will have the best women's match we have seen outside of Stardom in about 10 years. But yeah, she does.
Never lost.
She never loses at SummerSlam. Charlotte Flair is walking away with that title. She's going to pin Bianca. She's not going to pin Asuka, because then Asuka gets her rematch, which she will lose. And then Bianca will fight, complain, and moan, hopefully turn heel and join the Hurt Business, and then beat Charlotte at the next pay-per-view.
Okay. Albert, what about you? Who's leaving SummerSlam with the title?
Asuka. I think Asuka wins. So what I think is I think you're right in everything you said, Nick, except for the winner. I think that Charlotte and Bianca is the feud that they want, but I also think that they know in their back pocket they have Io and Asuka ready to go, and they don't that needs the title more than Charlotte and Bianca does. I think you can do a Charlotte-Bianca feud to keep both of them out of the damn title picture for just a few months, because you're right. Charlotte does not exist without being a champion, and they need to change that at this time.
Well, that's easy. They have Charlotte win, then have Io cash in.
But they got to put her into something at this point where where she proves everybody wrong, because I think it's getting in her head too. I think she knows it. Everybody says it. She left right after Mania, after she was out of the title picture. Give her 3 months of her and Bianca to go back and forth for a little bit. Then they can bridge it up to get to Rumble, and then eventually to Summer to WrestleMania, and then Charlotte can take her other break, like she always does. But
why don't they just put the belt on her at SummerSlam? Then Io cashes in. Charlotte gets her 15th title, but she doesn't leave with the belt.
That would work for me too.
So we got Nick has Charlotte, Albert has Asuka, and I like this because we all have someone different. Nice. And right here, he's kind of just taking it out of me. Io's leaving with the title. And the reason I think so is because what happened 1 year ago? Io debuted. So what better way to cap off that anniversary than by having her cash in and win? And I think Asuka retains, if anything. I think the Asuka will retain the title here because Bianca and Charlotte just get too crazy. And then in comes Io, cashes in, gets that title. And then we go on to Io versus Asuka in a title feud, which is great because we have a woman's feud that doesn't revolve around any of the four horsemen. and a title, and we're all excited about it. And then Bianca and Charlotte can have a top-level women's feud that doesn't revolve around the title, and it will be fantastic. We will all love it, and it's win-win-win situation, baby.
Not quite.
That's how I think it's happening.
There's only one issue with an Io Oscar feud.
Okay.
Promos.
I love them.
I love him. I love Oscar on the mic. It's phenomenal. But I know a lot of people that don't understand a word she says.
Too fucking bad.
No. I love Oscar, but there is a large portion of people that she doesn't translate through on her promos, and it's the same with Io. I'm of the impression that WWE is a live television show. WWE is a live television show where they know what people are going to say. So why don't they subtitle Io and Oscar's promos? They could do it live, right? WCW used to subtitle Japanese stars all the time.
I wouldn't be surprised if they started it with this feud.
Okay.
Like, this would be a great way to just introduce it to the audience.
Yeah.
The only thing is, you can't do it to the live audience. They're kind of screwed. But again, it's always been about high energy to me. And then the next day I find out what they said, and I'm like, oh, that makes it even better. This was just fantastic. So
okay.
I think the saving grace might just be that Bayley is still aligned with Io. And I think Bayley can cut promos for Io for like 3 weeks until Io's like, okay, enough, stop. I can speak for myself. She says 6 sentences. That's all she needs. And she makes her point, you know?
On the subject of Bayley and Thingy, I heard a rumor today, and I want your opinions on it. Apparently, Io Sky wants Piper Niven in Damage Control.
I'd be totally down with it.
I'm so with that. That'd be awesome.
I would want Dakota Kai to come back with Piper Niven and kick Bayley out.
You see, I want Piper to tag up with Bayley because that's the portion of the tank, man.
I'm not mad at any iteration of it because
that's cool too.
But as long as they're going to utilize it this time and not just kind of dance around and not know what they're doing for months and months and months.
Yeah.
If they had an idea, okay, run with it. I'm cool with it.
Right.
But so we all have someone different there. I like it when that happens. I hate it when
so do I. Make a change, Jimmy. Usually you and I just agree on prediction shows.
So what's funny is that me and you haven't disagreed, I don't think, this entire time. So
the glasses, Albert.
We all disagreed on that last one. So, and I have a feeling we're going to be disagreeing on this. At least you two will probably be disagreeing on this next one because we're going to the Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship match. We have Seth freaking Rollins taking on Finn Balor, who he's part of the best thing going, in my opinion, as far as like a story. Like the Judgment Day is the best thing going in WWE right now. And yes, I'm saying it's better than Bloodline at this point.
It is.
I think Bloodline is written better, but Judgment Day is just so much more fascinating at this point.
It's more fun.
Yes, it's more fun.
It's more fun.
With that, do we see Finn Balor getting that 7-year itch, scratching that shit right off his shoulder, and getting that World Heavyweight Championship gold to go along with the rest of Judgment Day's accomplishments?
For about a minute and a half.
You think they're going to have Damian cash in on him? Woo.
Yeah, I do. I do. I think Seth is banged up because he said as much on several podcasts in the last few months. He needs some time. He needs some time off. I think that Finn finally gets his vengeance in arguably the cleanest singles match that we're going to see at SummerSlam. Because these two, it's like
that's a great point as well. It wouldn't be the first time that Io Sky beat Charlotte Flair on a multi-woman. Thank you, Harry. Thank you,
Harry. Very good point.
Really well.
Very good point. Very good point. And now I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
You were saying Damian's going to cash in on Finn.
There we go. All right, Damian is going to. He's been saying he's not going to cash in on Finn, but he is. And the fact is, WWE have been trying to create a new Latino star for. Agree with you, Harry. WWE have been trying to create a new Latino star now for years. They're trying it with Santos Escobar. I love the guy, but it's not getting over. They have a Latino star. No. Dom's not. He's not been around long enough. He's not been around long enough. He's not seasoned enough to be.
He's already got a title.
No. He's got an NXT title, Jimmy.
Spoiler.
It's the title he should. It's the title he should hold. Right? It's the title he should hold because you know me. I've said for years Dominik Mysterio should have been NXT first.
Yeah,
but
I was on the same. I was with you 100%.
Right, but I have said it, and I said it today on a podcast. Nepotism got him on the main roster. His talent is keeping him there.
Yeah.
Like, he has got so good. The kid's got timing. I'm sure he can cut a promo, but no one ever lets him talk. It's basically China and Eddie Guerrero. What we're getting with him and Rhea.
Just far more entertaining. And yes, I mean it 100%.
It's better because Rhea is so much better than China was.
Yeah.
Rhea is miles. Don't get me wrong. Dom ain't in Eddie's league yet. Right?
Would you say he's right now as entertaining as Eddie was?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's all I want to hear.
By far. He's right up there with as far as keeping the people entertained and keeping them ingratiated and watching. But I will tell you now, he ain't nowhere near Eddie in the ring.
Right? He never will be either.
Never will be. There are very few athletes that will ever touch Eddie Guerrero in the ring. Right? Very few. But to get back to the original question.
Yeah.
Right? Damian Priest is the new Latin star that WWE have been looking for. Punishment Martinez, whatever you want to call him. And just like LA Knight, he's in his 40s.
They're the same age.
40 years old. Right? You got to pull the trigger now. Right? You pull the trigger now. And realistically, spoiler people, if you didn't know, there was a writer's leak about a month ago. And the next big storyline in WWE after the Bloodline finishes is going to be Judgment Day. The Judgment Day is going to be the new focus of the WWE's Writers Guild, for lack of a better term. So what a better way to do that than to have well, they've already got Finn's replacement anyway.
Yes.
JD Madonna.
Yeah.
For frick's sake, his initials are Judgment Day Madonna. All right. So you have Priest cash in on Finn after Finn wins the title in a banger match with Seth. Priest leaves with the belt. Finn gets his moment. The next night, they kick him out of Judgment Day. Damian takes over as the leader, and Jamie Dunner is replacement, who is already mini Finn anyway, is the replacement for Finn Balor the next night on Raw.
Okay, Albert, who you got winning here?
All right, so normally I know that we do this a different way, but Jimmy, I want to ask you something. If Seth Rollins loses, where does he go after this?
To the house to heal up.
Do you think he takes time off?
Because I think he put that out there just to kind of get our wheels turning in our head, like, oh, well, he's clearly going to lose if he's got all these injuries. But when he eventually does take the time off, which I would assume is right after he loses the title, just like what'll happen with Roman, I think he goes to the house, heals up, and then comes back for a WrestleMania run. Save yourself for WrestleMania season. This is usually the part of the year where things kind of slow down a bit. It's the slow season. Monday Night Football's coming back. Slow season time. Maybe Triple H don't play that game though. We'll see. But
so that's just been my only thing. Look, straight up, I think Finn wins. I think he wins the title. I think that Priest doesn't cash in. I think they have a very fun run of Priest, being in Finn's corner, being totally cool. But anytime there's a modicum of a chance that Finn looks like he's going to lose the title, Priest is ready to be like, I'm going to cash it in. And when he does it the first time, Finn's going to be like, well, what are you doing, man? It's like, well, you were on the ropes. If I cash in, it's a triple threat match. One of the two of us walks out the champion. That's what it's about. It's about Judgment Day, right? I think there's a lot to play with Finn as champion in Judgment Day. I do like the idea of adding J.D. McDonough in there as well, but I think that I like the idea of them slowly realizing, wait, this is the newer, better Finn that we can manipulate.
More improved version of Finn.
Right, not the seasoned Finn Balor that we can take advantage of mentally. We can do it physically, that's fine, but we can't do it mentally, and we need to get that mental game out of Finn. I think that's what happens. My only part of that whole thing where I said that I didn't know what was going to happen is because that's why I asked you, Jimmy, what happens to Seth after this? Because I feel like
I'll throw a name out for you, and
sure.
We don't have to dive into it because we're running a little bit here. But Seth, if he did lose and he didn't leave, I think him and Gunther would be a fantastic program for him to go right into. Gunther could be like, you think you are the best, and then you have that, and who's going to say no to Gunther for Seth? But that's for another day that we can just praise that all day. But so you have Finn winning here.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think Finn wins. I'm not surprised if Seth wins because I do think the injury thing was just him putting it in the universe for us to second guess things. I don't think Damian Priest cashes in, and the reason I say so is because earlier this week they mentioned that they're going back to the Dominican or Puerto Rico, and it's going to be for a Raw. Damian Priest is on Raw, and if we're talking about creating moments, which is what I always look for, Damian Priest cashing in.
Okay, yeah.
I love the idea of Finn having the title and them working as a unit. I want them to do something. I want them to say, no, we're together. We are a unit. And then Finn loses the title, and then that's when Priest cashes in. Then you kick Finn out because they're too good right now. I don't want to see it. I think they're too damn good right now.
Yeah.
That way it shows they have unity. They work together. They know that we're better together than we are separated. We shouldn't be fighting. We should be sticking together. And then whoever beats Finn is like, oh, I got this great moment. And Damian Priest is like, not today. Boom. 1, 2, 3. He now is the champion. He now takes lead in Judgment Day. Finn gets the boot. And that's what I think we go with.
That's very Bullet Club.
And who started the Bullet Club?
Where I was going to. The Finn Balor we currently have is a PG-13 version of Bullet Club Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Or as my brother likes to call him, I'll use American vernacular, the soccer hooligan Finn Balor. That's who he is. He dresses like a football hooligan. He acts like a football hooligan. It's soccer hooligan Finn Balor, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of Finn. I have been since he was Prince Devitt back in the day. And I've been thoroughly disappointed with the fact that Vince labeled him as injury prone after he won the Universal title and was just not willing to put. It's such a stupid decision. Like, can you imagine how hot Finn would have been if he'd have been treated like Seth for the past 5 years? Like,
if they would have just said, hey, stop smiling and be the badass.
Like,
simple as that.
Stop being a walking dentist commercial and go and be a wrestler.
All right, so we all got Seth losing.
Yeah. And Jimmy, just to highlight another thing that you said, what's the biggest storyline in WWE right now? It's the implosion of the bloodline. If we implode another group so soon afterwards, I feel like that and there's tension between Damage Control. They've already teased tension between Imperium. I don't like
it's not special anymore.
Right. So
but you got to remember, this is WWE, where teams are put together to create single stars.
You got to remember that Triple H is not the same mind that Vince McMahon was.
No. Triple H is not the same mind. Triple H loves tag team wrestling.
Exactly.
Tag team wrestling is not factions. Factions are there to create.
How long did he leave Undisputed Era together?
Good point.
Forever. Yeah. Triple H is not the end.
Good point.
People can be, Vince is still there. Kiss my butt. Yes, he's still there.
Vince
and
is barely
input. That's what Ricochet said. He did not say that he's the last guy we talked to. He says he is there for input. We talk to him. He gives us input. Sure, he shares some things, and sometimes they go with it. He's not the end-all, be-all. Triple H, again, Ricochet versus Logan Paul is the biggest example in the world to me that Triple H has got final say on a lot of this stuff. So,
well, as far as we're aware, the guy who bought the Endeavor guy, whatever his name is, basically put Vince at the top of the pyramid in WWE and in UFC on a business side of things.
There you go.
Right? That's the difference. It's on a business side of things.
The Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal is definitely a Vince thing. But with a business move, because that's them getting a sponsorship to get more money.
Exactly. And when it comes down to it, in wrestling, to quote Scott Hall, you can do two things. You can make friends or you can make money. And I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon has already got plenty of friends.
WWE is all about the money, baby.
This ain't the friend business.
So for there, we will go to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. And I'm not going to ask who wins because I think we all know who wins. What I would like to ask is, why is this feud happening? Albert, I'm going to let you go first on this because I don't think I've ever heard your opinion on this matter. And I'm kind of curious. Why is Brock Lesnar going after Cody Rhodes?
I don't know.
All right.
Personally, I kind of don't give a shit. The reason why is because it's been entertaining. It's been fun. And, wrestling fans will sometimes, and I'm the first person to say, I like a story. But sometimes two guys beating the crap out of each other is just fine enough for me. I think that logically it makes sense that all they would have had to do was just explain Brock Lesnar wanted Cody to beat Roman Reigns because Brock Lesnar cannot challenge Roman Reigns for a world championship ever again. So if Cody wins at WrestleMania, Brock is great. Brock can go back and he can challenge for a championship. Now Cody's cost Brock everything. Brock can't take the belt off of Roman. Yes, there's a new title. Seth holds that title. He doesn't want that title. He wants a title that he lost to Roman. He wants it back. It's a logical story. If they were to just put it in commentary for like 16 seconds, it would have been fine. The fact that we haven't gotten an explanation, though, hasn't even put a damper on this feud for me, though. It's just been so much fun.
It's not like it's on the show every single week taking it.
Right.
Then I'd want an explanation. But if it's every once in a while, I'm willing to wait to see if we get it at the end, which I think we do. Nick, I'm spinning it over to you because you and me are of like mind on this situation. So I'll let you go ahead and let the world know why we think this
just
feud
so
is
people know, I'm a Cody muck. I think Cody Rhodes is the best wrestler in the world.
What a loser.
Cody Rhodes is the best wrestler in the world. He's the best talker in the world. He's the most natural promo in the world outside Eddie Kingston. And his ring work is phenomenal. But the reason this is happening, ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, is because of Paul Heyman. What better storyline than to have Brock Lesnar reveal after Cody beats him that the reason Brock has been doing this is because Paul Heyman walked in his office or locker room with a giant briefcase full of money and said, "Take this. This is from the tribal chief. Please keep Cody out of our way." That's all you need. You literally have Brock show a video package on the Raw. You said this, Jim. I'm sure you did. You literally have Brock show a video package on the Raw after SummerSlam because Cody wants to know why. Brock goes, "Fine. This is why." Shows him why, then goes back to Minnesota or Canada or wherever the hell he lives on his compound, ignores people again for the next 6 months and lives his best life. This is the easiest story in the world. Roman Reigns paid Brock Lesnar through the medium of Paul Heyman to keep Cody away from him. Right? It's the only thing that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Right? Because otherwise, I'm sorry, like you said, Albert, that if they could have gone with the whole because he can't challenge Roman, he needed Cody to win. That would have been.
He was mad that Cody didn't win, so he's taking it out on him.
Right. That would have been fine. But that would have been fine 3 months ago.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now it's too late to reveal that. Now there has to be something behind it. And to have Paul Heyman and Roman as the guys behind it, the masterminds that we keep in the ultimate babyface away from his prize.
Does that mean the story continued?
I think it might.
What?
So it carried on like they said it was going to carry on.
How could they possibly do this when they're on separate shows?
No, this is how they do it. Roman had him drafted to Raw in the first place because Roman has that kind of power in kayfabe in the company. So he made sure Cody was drafted to the opposite show. And then as soon as Paul had the opportunity, you pay off Brock. The Beast goes after Cody, breaks his arm, keeps him away from Roman, redirects all of Cody's attention from finishing the story to dealing with his current chapter and speed bump.
Yeah. So I think it was about a week before their first match that I noticed the red phone with Paul Heyman, and that was what kind of tied it together for me. I was like, the last time I saw that red phone, it was when Brock Lesnar's there was the ringtone of Brock Lesnar's music went off, and Paul was like, oh, he was like, oh shit, I just got busted.
Yeah.
And then we saw the red phone again. He was calling someone during a match, and it was a Cody solo match. And I was like, Brock's involved in this somehow. I just that's what I've always thought. And I've always thought it would be really cool to just put Roman and Brock together. Let them just tear shit up.
Yeah. Power Trip 2.0.
Why not?
Yeah. How fun is that?
How is it? Have them both be part-timers. Just take the tag belts off Kevin and Sammy and then just leave. Then just leave. Because realistically, as much as I love Kevin and Sammy, those belts don't mean nothing. All right, if they meant something, they'd have had a new title by now. Because Roman got a new belt. Oscar got a new belt. Rhea got a new belt. Seth got a new belt. Why haven't Kevin and Sammy got new belts?
Probably waiting to
split the belts.
They probably don't know what they're doing yet, honestly.
They're going to split the titles, Jim.
I hope so.
I don't want them to.
I don't either.
I do.
There's not enough tag teams, Albert.
Yeah.
See, now, here's the thing. If you look down SmackDown's roster of tag teams, they actually have a really good tag team division. So does Raw. Just they don't get featured anymore because their tag champions are a makeshift tag team of two top single stars. Look, at the end of the day, we're
working just as hard as the Usos were, though.
No. And don't get me wrong. I love Sammy and Kevin. I love that they're champions. I think they deserve this. I've been wanting to see them as tag champions since they've gotten into WWE. But my thing about it is that we're seeing great tag team wrestling on Raw every week with Viking Raiders. We're seeing Alpha Academy. We know that we're already getting to the point where we're gonna have the Street Profits have to get something going pretty soon. I think that there's enough teams in there to satiate splitting those titles and not making them a little bit feel stagnant. But I will say they do need new title designs. I mean, oh God,
I hate those friggin' silver.
Yeah. Oh God,
the ideal situation is you just run the tag team champions like you're running with Kevin and Sammy. They go between both shows. And then while they're dealing with their feud on Raw, on SmackDown, you're building up their next challenger so that when the champion finishes on Raw, they go to SmackDown. And now SmackDown has a good tag team division.
That's how they used to do it tonight.
While on Raw, they're building up the next challenger. I think that's just a smarter way of doing things instead of trying to force things all the time.
Yeah.
A check mark. You go well, did we get the tag titles on? Did we get this? It dampens your show when you have that kind of stuff. So, but we've gone sidetracked here. Cody wins. Yes, we all agree. Cody wins this. And then Brock is revealed to be Paul Heyman's henchman.
Yes.
Booyah! Quick, Nick, where does Cody go after this?
Where does Cody go after this?
Yeah.
Roman.
Okay. I like that. Okay. And Jimmy, you're saying no because I was going to ask you the same thing because I was curious. No. Because I don't know. I can't even predict in my mind.
He goes to Roman by Mania.
I'm just saying okay. I'm all about it. I hope so.
It has to be that version. It has to be that version, though.
No, it has to be the Eater of Worlds. But without a shadow.
Again, for another day, will we go completely?
I know I'm getting off topic. I was just curious because
this is my fault. You know me.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm enjoying it. We're having a good time, but it's time for the main event, or as Mark Henry says, it's time for the main event. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I'm not even going to ask questions here. I'm just going to let you free talk on the match for a little bit. We'll go ahead and give everybody a little bit 2-minute time limit here to get what you want in on
Albert, after you.
Albert first.
Sure. I'm going to make it quick and easy. This match is going to be amazing. This match is going to tell an amazing story. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be more drama than we've ever seen in a wrestling match ever. Roman wins.
All right, Nick. Do you want me to go first? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I got it. All right. Roman's going to smash him and stack him in 20 minutes. This is going to be a great match. Jey is the perfect person to be in this position. But you just asked me, where's Cody go if he beats Thingy? What does Jey do if he beats Roman? It's the same problem they had.
Sikoa.
Yeah, Solo ain't ready for the main event. It's the same problem they had with
main event, though. And
it's the same problem they had when Kofi Kingston won the title. It's the same problem they had when Big E won the title. It's this fantastic moment of somebody winning the championship, but then they have no grand plan for what to do with them as the reign, and the reign sucks because they book it badly. Jey Uso
or CM Punk.
Exactly. Let me just ask this one question. Do you legitimately, Jimmy, put your rest in the head on, not your heart, do you legitimately see Jey Uso as the face of WWE?
No, I see him as a transitional champion, though. And I know everyone's crazy. You can't have a transitional champion.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
It makes sense for the storyline.
No, I'm fine with the transitional champion because Roman's held the belt.
It's not a thing, though. And
Roman, yes, it is. Roman's held the belt for nearly
3 years,
for 3.5 years. To have a guy who only holds it for a couple of months,
it's fine.
After this long of one champion, you need a couple of short reigns to get a few more people built up until you get to LA Knight's eventual 2-year run in about 1.5 years.
Yeah. No, dummy.
He'll get there. LA Knight will get that belt and he'll probably run with it. He'll probably have about a 2-year run. I'm not saying he'll be a champion for 2 years. I'm saying he will be the guy at the top for 2 years. He'll be constantly in the title picture for 2 years. But back to the point at hand. Amazing match. It's going to be overbooked as hell, which I absolutely love. Roman is going to tell the best story that he's ever told in this match because the one thing everybody is not noticing, and I don't know if you guys have because I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, is his face. It's the rage. It's the rage.
Yeah.
Right? He's holding it back. And he's doing it in character. Everyone said, why did Roman Reigns go to acting classes? Watch what he does with his face. That's why he went to acting classes, because he knows how to act. He is holding the rage back. He's letting it build up into a tiny, tight little ball in his stomach. And come SummerSlam, he is going to unleash that on Jey Uso.
I'm 100% with you.
All right, so screw the wrestling head. I'm throwing my brain out. I just don't care, because when I watch with my brain, I don't enjoy it as much as when I watch it with my heart.
I agree.
Fair enough.
Ask, what can Jey Uso do after this? I'll say this. With how well this whole storyline has been handled up until now, I can't imagine they would take the title off of Roman, put it on Jey, unless they had something up their sleeve. I've given them my full trust during this whole storyline ever since I think midway through the Sammy thing, and I've not second guessed anything they've done, and they have not failed me yet. So I'm not going to start now. Logically speaking, I think Jey Uso has a legitimate chance of beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I know this sounds batshit crazy. I know I do. That's fine. At me. I don't care, anybody. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been completely invested in this storyline for a very, 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 very long time. And if we are literally logically speaking on it, Jey winning makes the most sense. It makes more sense than Sammy winning it. It makes more sense than Cody winning it.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't be that crazy to think he can win.
No. The fact is, the story started with Jey. So ending it with Jey does make perfect sense.
And again, having Sam and people were like, Sammy needs to stay out of it. Screw you. Sammy was a huge part of this storyline. And to have him come back and help it make it happen makes it even more. Makes a lot of sense.
That just
with that said, I'm going to go ahead and take my brain, put it back in my head, and I'm just going to put this bit up here because it's exactly what I think happens. Jimmy's going to return, turn on Jey. They're going to beat the shit out of Jey. He's going to be gone for a while. Jimmy returns to the bloodline because he got beat into submission, much like Jey got beat into submission the last time. And we can't forget that when they were talking about this whole thing, they were like, yeah, Jimmy said you shouldn't be head of the you shouldn't be
the right-hand man.
You shouldn't be leading this thing. So if Jay's about to win it, Jey coming in to stop him from doing it kind of goes hand in hand with that. And then,
there is one super happy way this could end, which is Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because Sami's not got a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because Kevin's got broken ribs. So why not have Sami come in and just kick Roman in the face?
This is what I've been saying for months.
Just have Sami come in, Helluva kick Roman in the face, have Jey go up top, Uso splash, 1, 2, 3. Jay's a champion for about a week. He can give Sami a title shot as a thank you, and then Sami can win the belt. And then everybody's happy.
2 weeks after WrestleMania, this is exactly what I said should happen with SummerSlam. I said this is exactly what should happen to SummerSlam. My man Tidy, he ain't here. He backed me up on this 100%. We can go back and look through the catalog, baby. I said this shit exactly what you said.
Yeah, I'll vouch for you. You definitely did say it.
I just don't say I my brain's in my head and I'm talking that way. I definitely just see Jimmy coming and costing Jey. Jay's going to get very close, and it's going to be a very, very, very fun match.
I see somebody else coming in.
Brock Lesnar, 2-man power trip.
Nope.
Woo!
Nope. A man who's currently into contract negotiations, so rumor have it, with WWE.
Who's that?
Who's Jacob Fatu.
I didn't know he was in talks with them.
Apparently he's in talks with them. Triple H has been in contact with Jacob. So Jacob Fatu
I said coming out of WrestleMania. Yeah, coming out of WrestleMania, I said that my bloodline, I wanted to be Jimmy, Jacob, and Solo. Yeah. So that would be that'd be really cool. But
so I'd like to see Jacob Fatu.
Jay's winning. Jay's winning this match. My heart's speaking now. Jay's winning this match. I don't care how it happens. What happens is happening. Jay's winning.
I said it last time. Jay got that win last month. That's the biggest moment in bloodline in babyface bloodline history. That's the moment. Jay win over Roman. There's no way he's pinning Roman Reigns 2 pay-per-views in a row.
Shut up with your logic.
Sorry, dude, smashed and stacked.
Listen. I said it before, Jimmy. In a way, I want this to happen because I want Jimmy and Jay to be world champions at one point. I think they deserve it.
Yeah. Roman will watch Jimmy saying Jay was a terrible brother after you got injured. Jay didn't care about you. He wanted to, exactly.
Well, he said it on SmackDown. Yeah. That's literally what Roman said on SmackDown. He said as soon as Jimmy got hurt, what did? You didn't go to help him. You wanted a title shot.
So with that, I'll ask one more question, and then we're gonna jump into the Dom thing for a minute because I definitely have to talk about it. It was the
no, we have to.
It's a thumbnail. I got to talk about it. But surprises. Who do we see surprise returning? Because there's no way we don't get a surprise return at SummerSlam. There's just no way. That's going to be a yearly tradition, I think, for Triple H. Who do we see returning? Obviously, I said Bray Wyatt earlier. I'm sticking with that. I think Bray Wyatt returns.
Logically?
Go ahead, and I have one more that I'll bring up, but I'll let y'all go first.
There's a writer's strike right now. Yeah. Hollywood is out of business. What the hell's The Rock doing right now?
Well, just what The Rock doing right now is he's going back and forth with Grayson Waller on Twitter.
what I'm thinking is that if Roman wins and they can't do this big WrestleMania match they want to do at WrestleMania 40, man, The Rock's got a couple months to get in shape for SummerSlam. And
Survivor Series.
I'm sorry, the Survivor Series,
okay,
yeah.
Spitball theory. So Grayson Waller does what he did at Money in the Bank, but this time with The Rock.
Okay.
Instead of seeing
yeah.
Rock disappears. The main event goes off. As we all know, The Rock is actually the head of the table. The Rock is the tribal chief. The Rock is the head of the table in the Anoa'i family. He earns the most money, he's the biggest star, and he's the oldest. The Rock is legitimately the tribal chief of the Usos. So to keep Jimmy's idea that Jay gets to win, Jay don't need to win on his own. What if The Rock is the reason that Jay wins that belt? One, it's a seal of approval they tried to put on Roman and it didn't work. But you put it on Jay, that The Rock turns around and says he's the guy now. That's going to get people talking. But I just want to see Jacob Fatu sign a contract, so I'm going with Jacob.
And it logically makes sense if that's going to be the case, because if Rock costs Roman the title, Rock and Roman could still happen at WrestleMania. It doesn't have to be for a title. I mean, it does. It makes sense.
We got Viper return. I think this one's a possibility again. I just don't know how.
I would love to see Randy back, but Randy's back.
If Bray's not the guy to face Cody afterwards, Randy Orton could be that guy.
Here's the thing I don't think about with Randy is they would have put Riddle on the show one way or another, because there's no way you bring Randy back and you don't finish that story. You have to.
You have to finish, bro. Okay, bro.
Yeah.
The other name I will bring up real quick, and I say this because I was watching a show a few weeks ago. It was a Hot Wheels show where they turned cars into Hot Wheels. And Nick, the professor, the guy who does the TikToks of the entrances, he was one of the people on there. And we watched it because there was a special guest judge. And my Amanda's daughter, Amelia, she loves Big E. And Big E was a guest on that show. During that show, Big E promoted SummerSlam like a mother, which he should, because it's coming up and he's on TV and he wants to tell everybody about it. I thought that was interesting, though, because we haven't really heard anything from Big E other than he's like, yeah, I'm good. I just haven't been given the go.
And
like, I can do everything. I just can't.
And we haven't seen Xavier or Kofi either.
No, we haven't.
So imagine there's a segment where because they did it with Drew, I think at last year SummerSlam, where he just came out. No, it was Riddle that came out, and then Seth came out, and they fought. It was just a segment. Have that happen. Someone comes out to attack him. Out comes Big E. Great moment. It's a great moment.
I would love that.
That would be cool.
Those are some names I think. A lot of the ones, again, Randy is a name I've heard a lot. Bray is one I've heard a lot. Carlito, we've been waiting on.
I think Carlito's going to redo in Puerto Rico.
That's a long time, though.
Yeah, it is.
Not until next year.
Okay.
So I don't think it'd be SummerSlam, though, because as much as I love Carlito, he ain't that big. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's true.
I know that doesn't sound cool, but I'm just being honest. But that's the SummerSlam predictions, and now we will move to the topic of the show. And
time for the main event.
I got some notes, baby. Dom, we've seen this kid become the best damn heel, and I'll say it, I don't care, in all of professional wrestling right now. He gets it. You can't name me a guy who's getting the heat that this kid is getting.
Don Callis.
How long? It's died off. I was with you for a few weeks. He was getting actually more heat than Dom, but it's died off significantly.
Yeah, but he still got attacked by a fan.
No,
Dom ain't
I
been
read that
attacked
wasn't
by
a
a
fan.
fan yet.
I read it wasn't a fan.
Oh,
But
okay.
do you think any fan is going to be able to get their hands on Dom? No, security's too good. And again, Don is the one I will listen to as far as an argument to be made. But as far as a in-ring talent, nobody's getting more heat than Dom. He is the number one heel in wrestling today.
No, Christian Cage is a close second.
I'll take that. Christian Cage is doing fantastic. So, now that he's mastered the heels, is there any way that this kid, because we all think it's Theory and Mello and Waller and Breaker, is there any possibility that Dom is the guy who takes the reins and is the face, as the top baby face of WWE 3 years from now?
Sure.
Not in 3 years.
Could he be the top baby face in all of WWE?
Yeah.
Could he be the John Cena?
That's hard to say. Right,
So-
here's the thing. I think he can be Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
In the same way that Eddie got over by being Eddie.
Okay.
Dom can get over by being Dom. Right? Because at the moment, he's not being Dom. He's being ex-condom. Right?
It's his own creation as well. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of this.
No, that's all him. That's all his idea.
So
Right?
suck it, everybody.
But he's being dirty Dom. He's being condom. The moment they turn Rhea face, Dom has to go with her.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm going to blow your mind in a little bit.
Okay. But Dom has to go with her if he turns face. In the same way that China turned face and Eddie naturally turned with China.
Big E was on another show too. So like he's showing up places. And again, he said he's good. He just hasn't been given the go.
Yeah. But I can see Dom as being the top babyface in the company in about 5 years.
Okay.
In about 5 years. I think he needs a bit more seasoning.
For sure.
I'd love to say he needs better promo work, but honestly, we don't know because no one lets him talk. It's like he's so hated that nobody lets him speak, and Rhea does all his talking for him.
I've seen people give him shit because he stumbles over a few words every once in a while. Hey, I see Bryan Danielson still stumble over words. So
I see John Moxley stumble over words. I've seen The Rock stumble over words.
It makes it sound not scripted to me. So
yeah, because
The Rock beating stuff off his wrist.
Occasionally stumbles.
So he says he could see him being the top babyface, maybe not the John Cena. Albert, what about you?
There's a moment when Dom eventually turns and he reunites with his dad that's going to, touch the hearts of wrestling fans all over the place, especially now with the comment that he recently made. Oh, man, I love my dad, but unfortunately he's not here anymore. R.I.P. Eddie. By the way, the best heel going right now. I mean, is Dom not everything he's doing when he does get the chance to talk? He kills it too.
Yeah.
There's only one person that I remember outside of now Don Callis and Dom that got heat so bad that they weren't able to talk, and the only other person I remember that being was Vicky Guerrero. Matt Cardona, who was a part of 95% of those Vicky Guerrero segments when he was a part of La Familia, was at Monday Night Raw when Chelsea Green won the tag titles.
Yeah.
And on his podcast, somebody mentioned Vicky Guerrero to him, and he said, nah, this kid's he's getting even booed even harder than Vicky is. You couldn't hear Vicky Guerrero, who had the most shrill voice in the entire world, over this crowd. Dom can't, they're topping it with Dom right now.
He has to yell into the microphone.
Yep. There is a line.
Not only did he have to yell, they turned the volume up.
Yeah. That
still doesn't help. There is a thin line between love and hate.
Where they've told him too, hey, you can't wait this out. You kind of got to spit it out and get it because you're taking up too much time. That's what's happened here. That's why he's having to yell into the microphone. I was like, this crowd is just booing you too much, man. It's very reminiscent of what happened to Roman Reigns when he beat Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Only it's every fucking week.
Yeah.
How do you deny this kid?
There is a thin line between love and hate. And that's really what it boils down to. They hate him. Because the three of us collectively don't. But the fans hate him so much to the point where my girlfriend was watching wrestling with me the other night, and she was like, man, I just can't stand that kid. And it's it works. It works. What Dom is doing as a heel works. She's a casual fan. The second that Dom's on her screen, she's like, "Oh, I hate this kid. I can't believe he turned his back on his dad." They've done everything right with Dom. He's killed it ever since. I think that there's a chance that when he turns babyface, it's going to be huge. And there's going to be it's going to be undeniable that Dom's going to be, one of the best.
Okay. So, you both brought up points that I'm about to bring up. So, thank you for that. I will ask a question. How do you make an effective babyface?
How do you make an effective babyface?
What's the most effective way to get people to cheer your babyface? They have to me, I think the most effective way to do this is you take someone who is hated so much to the point where people start loving them and they start wanting to cheer for him, but they can't because he's such a shithead.
The Hogan twist.
So when the time comes for you to turn him babyface, you're like, we've been waiting for this. And they start cheering him. Then you lean into it. And I think that's the best way to make these things work. That's why I think Austin Theory isn't working right now as a heel or that's why I don't think he's on the trajectory he needs to be because we don't hate him like that. We don't even care if he's a babyface.
Theory has suffered more than anybody under the Triple H regime.
Yes, I agree.
Truth, but he has. He was getting the Vince rub.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think he should have beat John Cena at WrestleMania because he just was not ready.
No, realistically, I hate to say it, he's boring.
Yeah. Right now he is. I'm agreeing with you. And last year I was singing a completely different tune. Mm-hmm. So
at the moment he's just dull. So if you compare him to Dom, which we have to do because we're talking about Dom.
And they're buddies. They hang out together.
And they're friends. Theory has the body. Theory has the look. Theory has the mic skills. Theory has the entrance. And Theory has the title. But he don't have it.
Yeah.
Right. Dom has it. I was his biggest detractor for about the first year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I was a huge detractor of Dom. I was like, nepotism. This pisses me off. He should be on NXT. But I've said it before. His talent is keeping him on the main roster.
I want to say one thing about Austin Theory, though. I do think he has it. I just don't think they've tapped into it yet.
They found it for him yet.
Because in NXT, he was fantastic.
Yeah, they don't need to find it. Did you ever guys watch Evolve?
Yeah.
I watched him in Evolve. That's where I first saw him.
Him in Evolve, compared to him now, it's night and day. It's a totally different character. I've said it for years, to quote Jim Ross, wrestlers get over when they play themselves with the volume turned up to 11. Theory's not playing himself right now.
Yeah.
He's playing a character. In Evolve, he was playing himself. All right? Let him be himself. Give him the time to articulate who he is at the moment, as opposed to, I'm US champion. By the way, did I tell you I'm the US champion?
I beat John Cena.
Yeah, and which, by the way, they didn't ram down our throats anywhere near enough.
Yeah, they should have done it even more. He should have mentioned
the same way Paul Heyman came out every single week after Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker. I was like, he's the one in 21-1, so on and so forth. Theory in every single promo, she should have had a T-shirt, right, with a picture of him pinning Cena at Mania on it.
I think it would have worked. Because John Cena wasn't winning matches prior to that either. So it's not effective to me.
No,
that's true, but you know what? It's still the biggest win in his career. It's WrestleMania. It's over the GOAT.
But it wasn't impactful, and that's why I thought John Cena winning was the way to go, because when you beat John Cena at WrestleMania, it tends to go bad for you. Whereas when you lose to John Cena, you kind of have room to grow, and then you come back and get his ass later, and which is exactly what I said. And oh my goodness, I'll go ahead and pat myself on the back. I was 100% right. But back to the man of the hour, Dominik Mysterio. I thought about this for a long time, and I didn't want to come across as a biased fan. And I will say 100% without a shadow of a doubt, I think Dom can be that top babyface.
Okay.
And the reason I think so, I'm not going to give a long, drawn-out explanation. I'm going to come up with a road to get him there. And I literally came up with this road within 5 minutes. So the fact that I was able to do this in 5 minutes tells me that there's people who do this way better than I do. There's no way they can't have other roads. There has to be multiple ones. There has to be better ones. I'm just going to give mine, and to make it so obvious as to how easy it's going to be to get him there, because he's just so over as a heel. So The main thing is you brought up Rhea, Nick, and he says when she turns face, which she kind of is at this point, she just plays heel a little bit, but the crowd is cheering for her.
Yeah,
I mean, this Monday she definitely wasn't a face.
No, what she did was horrible, but I'm saying she's cheered like a face. So
they were popping like crazy when she was Pulmonizing Liv.
When she,
I was cheering it, but I mean that's just me. I have my own reasons why, but whatever.
When she turns face, I think the way to do it is to use Dom as the vehicle because we hate Dom. So when she leaves Dom and punches Dom and knocks his ass out in the center of the ring, we're going to enjoy that. We're going to pop. We're going to love it. Rhea's a big baby face, and we hate Dom even more. Matter of fact, we start making fun of Dom because you just lost Rhea. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? He has something in his back pocket because now he has a new girlfriend. And who is it? Liv Morgan. Because Liv Morgan...
I knew you were going to say that.
Hold on. And now what we've done is we've progressed Dom from being the guy who is the submissive to Rhea to now being the guy who has Liv on his arm. And now he's got a little bit more confidence behind him. And he's got the girl still to lean on because we still need to walk him through some things. He's not completely ready. He's just getting there.
The entire internet hates you right now. Continue.
I don't care. I love it.
Personally, I love this, but keep going.
So he's left Rhea. He's helped Rhea get over even more as a babyface, which she doesn't need. But when she punches him, it's going to be a crazy, awesome moment. And she's going to go even more into superstardom. Now Liv has something.
She's going to give him the riptide, dude.
That'd be awesome too. And
she
now,
might win a match.
Liv has something that she can sink her teeth into instead of just being like, watch me. I'm done with it. Give me something new, Liv. This is something new for her. Then, where we got? Sorry, I got to look at these notes. My handwriting's real small. We go a little bit further. We're going into WrestleMania. And WrestleMania's coming around. Dom lost to Ray last year, so the tease of Ray and Dom will be there. It's always going to be there until Ray's gone. But what happens is LWO turns on Ray.
Yep.
Okay?
Which they should have done in the first place because Rey Mysterio in WCW refused to join the LWO for the entire 2-year run.
So
the only time he was in the group was when he was forced.
They turn on LWO, and in the process, we start to get a little bit of a tease where Dom is going to come and save Ray. What happens, though? Dom comes out to make the save, and he joins the LWO as the leader, which makes him progress one more step from being, again, he went from being Rhea's side piece to having Liv as his side piece as a lackey to now running his own faction, which LWO as a heel faction just makes it's just better to me anyway.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even join Ray. They beat the piss out of Ray. He now runs LWO. Over the next year, you can literally have him start dropping members because that's what happens with factions. Him dropping Santos first, clearly.
Yeah.
And that's a great feud for him to have. And he can win that one, no problem. Then he loses Liv, which is fine because it'll help Liv be more over because we fucking hate Dom so much. And then Liv goes on, does her thing, but that's another great moment. She slaps Dom. Dom loses a match. Okay. This is how it progresses. And then eventually Cruz and I can never remember. And Wyatt, they end up getting kicked out as well. And then
DJZ, dude, just call him by his proper name.
Now what we have is Dom standing on his own 2 feet. And we've literally walked him all the way to this moment. So this is all assuming that he's completely ready for this moment. Mm-hmm. He's on his own. By about this time, what time is it? It is Royal Rumble 2025. Dominik Mysterio wins the Royal Rumble. Yes, I fucking said it. And this is all dependent on him being over as well. If it dies out and he flounders, then no, none of this works. But this is all assuming that he just continues to grow and keep that fan reaction. Even if it's just a half of what it is now, it's still better than most. He wins the Royal Rumble, but guess what's happening? Fans are cheering because we've been waiting for this kid to break through. We've been waiting for a new face to kind of rise through the ranks. He goes to WrestleMania. He loses at WrestleMania. He loses because he gets cheated. And then he gets jumped. And then Ray saves him. And then Dom sees Ray saving him. He's like, oh, what's this? He's hesitant. The next night on Raw, He starts the show off. He comes out. He calls out Ray. Ray comes out to the ring. He says, Dad, I just want you to know I'm so sorry for everything I've done. I love you. They embrace in a big hug in the center of that ring. Dom is now officially, everybody loves this kid again, or loves him. Not everyone loved him before. And now you have a top babyface who knows how to work a crowd. And as you said, has impeccable timing. Boom. That's, again, I came up with this in 5 minutes. So to think that it's just not even possible to make it happen is just, I refuse to believe that he won't be the top babyface at this point. He's exactly who we think everyone else is going to be.
I called it the Hulk Hogan twist because everybody said when Hogan went Hollywood, there's no way in hell he can go babyface again.
Yeah.
And what happened in 1999, he got over again. And then he went back to the red and yellow, and everybody in 1999, when Hulkamania was basically dead and buried for the past 7 years, went ballistic.
And then they did it again. Like when?
Yeah, and then he did it again.
In 2002.
So yeah,
again,
they tried to kill The Rock. He tried to commit murder, and people still cheered him.
Yeah, they ran him over with a truck in an ambulance, and they still cheered him.
Yeah.
But no, I completely love that, Jimmy. Like, it works. It works on every level. The only thing that I would change is I'd have Rhea turn on him and then have Ray come out.
You'd have what?
When Rhea turns on him, I'd have Ray go and see him.
Oh, okay. And then he just pushes his ass out.
Just to further the divide and to tease the fact that Ray still believes in his son.
Yeah.
Even though
add that to it, and I think it makes it a little bit more effective.
I think the only issue I see is I just don't think we're getting anybody to boo Liv Morgan at this point. And it's not
Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan sucks.
Hey,
look, okay, all right. Look, I'm not in this.
Right, there were 3 members of Damage Control. Sorry, not Damage Control. Riot Squad. She's the least talented one. She only gets pushed because she's blonde and hot.
Do you
think she's like hot blondes? Oh yeah, she's improved in the ring.
She's better than Ruby Soho is right now, bro.
Not in the ring, she's not.
What?
No, she's not.
No.
What?
No.
The best thing Liv Morgan has done since
Liv
ever
disguises everything with shenanigans. Liv disguises everything with shenanigans. She's got no timing, and you can see that from the fact that she gets injured like clockwork. Right? She's got no timing whatsoever. She gets pushed because she's cute and because she's blonde, and they love cute blondes in WWE.
And she's over with the male portion of the fan base. I'll say it I said it before. I'll say it again. The best thing Liv Morgan ever did was the way she sold that chair attack on Monday night from Rhea Ripley. That's the most impressed I've been with Liv Morgan since she's been on the main roster. Look, I don't dislike Liv Morgan at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike her. I just really don't understand how wrestling fans are okay with admitting that they're cheering for somebody because they're sexually attracted to them, and they can also boo other women when they feel the same way. Why is it okay that, look, I get it, Liv Morgan is still a better wrestler than Eva Marie. I'm not saying she's not, but Eva Marie also improved too. How come nobody got behind her?
No, Albert. Don't you dare use that sentence. That is a lie. And
she got better when Brian Kendrick trained her. It went from being absolute crap to a step above absolute crap.
Brian Kendrick is terrible. Brian Kendrick is a one-move man. Brian Kendrick does a good thing. One good thing. One-footed drop kicks. Everything else he does sucks.
I can't believe we're just have a conversation. We're comparing Eva Marie and Liv Morgan, man.
No. I'm not having that. Eva Marie is literally the least talented female in the history of professional wrestling. Right? My left toenail has more talent than Eva Marie.
I'm not
blind, better than Major Guns.
A blind, deaf, and dumb. Yes, Eva Marie is worse than Major Guns. Eva Marie is worse.
You said Eva Marie isn't even better than Helen Keller.
No. You know what? Helen Keller would have better timing than Eva Marie. Right? A blind, deaf, dumb, and idiotic chimpanzee would be a better wrestler than Eva Marie. I, as a dead man, would be a better wrestler than Eva Marie. The
only reason why I bring her up is because she is attractive as well. But it's funny how even her hotness couldn't even overcome how dreadful she was in the ring. Somehow, Liv Morgan was able to disguise it because even in NXT, Liv wasn't good there either.
No, she was not good. She wasn't even good when she was with the Riot Squad. Over the last few years, though, she has gotten like I personally
better.
She so much. I don't mind watching her. Like I think she's a great wrestler. I don't think she's a great wrestler.
Better. She's still not on the level of half the women in the division.
Man,
she's good. She's got no timing. Okay. Thank you. I didn't know that.
I do. That's like my favorite joke in the world.
Awesome.
I'll say this. Liv Morgan, I don't think she's the kind of girl that can go and have a great wrestling match with everybody. But I think if she has the right dance partner, she can have a good match 100%.
She can have a passable match.
Yeah.
Her and Becky Lynch wasn't good.
No. It was good.
Becky was good.
It was
terrible. Dude,
the match,
you know me. The one thing that
He's see? Smite thee with his horrible.
No, right? Timing, right? Timing is not good.
Even part of the show, she's catching it.
Right? Timing is something that you cannot teach.
No,
right?
you can't.
You either have it and you don't, and Liv doesn't have it. Right? Seriously, Dynamite Kid in a wheelchair has more timing than her. Okay,
Man.
Like seriously, you could give her a clock and she'd think that Roman numerals was a menu for a Chinese takeaway. Right? The girl has no timing. She never will have
Quick
timing.
Quick question, Nick. Meiko Satomura or Liv Morgan?
Don't you dare! Don't.
Go ahead and say Mako and make Tidy's day, bro. Do it.
Right? That woman is never to be put in front of me when it comes to professional wrestling.
All right. I can't believe we ended on disagreeing on something so hardcore. That's wild. I did not expect that from her. But there you go. I'd put her with Dom, and then everyone would boo the shit out of her. They would. They would just hate her.
I don't think so. I think that she's too pretty for people to turn on.
If they'd boo her when she was with him, when she was by herself, they'd cheer because they'd want her to leave him. That's why they'd be booing.
Right. You can't say she's too pretty for people to turn on because everyone turned on Trish Stratus and she's one of the hottest women on the planet. And this was in her prime.
But Trish has the chops to pull it off. I don't think Liv does. Liv is never able to heel to me.
She has Dom to lean on, and that's why I put that two together.
So I think that if you change that woman to almost anything else, I think it works. I just don't think that Liv. I don't think Liv works as a heel because I don't think she can pull it off.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If Dom is a heel and Dom is a champion at the time when he's theoretically running the NWO,
he's the
I would assume he would be
forever.
Yeah. Okay. So say he's the US champion or the IC champion by that point when he's running Judgment Day. Would you put a title on Liv?
No.
While he's with him?
I want to see how the act works.
Okay.
Because if we're putting a title on Dom with his skill level, again, I'm just being a realist here. Why wouldn't we put her on Liv with her skill level? I think she's a much better wrestler right now than Dom is overall.
I'd rather you put Tiffany Stratton in this spot.
I know you're doing this, and I'm not disagreeing with your whole timing thing. I'm just saying, like, is what she can do in the ring. I think she's more capable of doing things than Dom is.
I will give you that. She has more balls than Dominik Mysterio,
and that's all she needs to be. If she's the heel and she's just this crazy psycho bitch, then it works. And if storyline leads that way and Judgment Day stays hot,
right?
I imagine it will.
The thing is,
you can put the title on.
She's supposed to be Harley Quinn. But they can't lean into it because they'll get sued by Warner Brothers Discovery.
So,
however, what station is WWE now on in the UK?
I don't know.
Discovery Plus.
Oh, okay.
Because Warner Brothers Discovery have just bought BT Sport, which WWE was previously on. So, ironically, WWE is now on the same network as their main competition in this country.
Right? Can I ask a quick question here? If we replace Liv Morgan and with Tiffany Stratton, doesn't this work so much better?
It doesn't because Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have ties to each other. And
I agree, but just think about it. The idea that he went from the baddest bitch on the block to the biggest, the most womanly woman ever kind of makes sense. He went from, being dominated to dominant. And
how much more of an asshole does Dom look like for replacing Rhea with the girl that Rhea has beef with?
No. I agree with Jimmy that
yeah,
I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but she's a trashy Jersey girl. That's what Liv is. She's a trashy Jersey girl. I don't care. At me on Twitter. She is. I think all girls from Jersey are trashy. Right? This is what I have been exposed to as a British man. Right? On television, you're all slags. Right? And if you don't know what that means in America,
a lot of women from
America, some British slang. Well, apparently, all Jersey girls are slags. So that's what we've been introduced to over the years. So to see her with Dom works. I'm actually fine with the Dom and Liv pairing because she could play the, well, for lack of a better term, the rat quite well.
All right, I don't see it working for me, but I like that you guys see it because you know what? I love being proven wrong.
I don't like Tiffany in the spot because I think she needs to stand on her own. I think she's that good and she's progressing that way that with that just kind of makes her.
I'll tell you, and it's a complete sidebar, but I'd like to see him put her with Nikita Lyons.
Ooh, okay.
No.
For that reason,
I do not like Nikita Lyons at all.
Nobody does.
No,
nobody does.
Not even Dom likes Nikita
I
Lyons.
do.
Nobody. No, I don't have any problem with Nikita. I think she's gorgeous. She can't wrestle a lick, but she's gorgeous.
No.
Right? But you put her with Dom, that works. Because she's a big, powerful girl. Because Dom has a thing for big, powerful.
You could do it with Raquel.
Powerful personality.
And then guess what? It works there too. It does.
Raquel has no personality.
But no, hold on. When she was in NXT as the bad bitch, it worked. Her on the main roster smiling like Finn Balor didn't work. Put her with Dom, and then when they go to LWO, they can be like, "Oh, well, we've kept it all." Like it's a thing.
That was way better for me.
I just think Liv would get Dom more heat for the exact reason he just said. Everyone loves Liv.
Yeah.
So now Dom has the girl that everyone wants. When he just left the girl that everyone wants, it's like we really, really, really fucking hate this kid. So
I mean, you're right there.
I'll end the show there. And this is the part of the show where I'm going to allow you guys to plug whatever it is you need to plug. Albert, go ahead and let them know. They need a new video. They got a new video they need to watch. Let them know where to find it.
They did, right on the Slam Sessions Network. There's a new video up. I was a little bit late last week, but I wasn't this week. I got it out yesterday, so it's all up there and ready to go. Give it a watch, like, and subscribe.
Nick, now it's your turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy listening to me waffle, if you enjoy listening to me talk about wrestling, myself and two wonderful friends, two brilliant minds, two fantastic brains called Andy and Simon, I work with them over on the Wrestling Legion YouTube channel. We do podcasts every Sunday evening around 8 p.m. UK time. I think that's about 2 o'clock for you, Jim.
Yep, 2 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, 3 Eastern.
Every week. I'm the positive one of the three.
There's no way y'all would have guessed that.
I'm the super positive one of the three. But we're all, between us, we have over a century of wrestling fandom. We're all very old. And realistically, we just love what we do. So if you enjoy listening to us talk, please come over, check out the Wrestling Legion, join the Legion. Enjoy what we do. There's going to be a lot more content coming on our channel soon. It's been slightly slow because we're all building our own studio. It's been a hectic time for the three of us, but we're trying to fit everything in. And our man Simon is currently off on a secret location on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We can't tell you where he is, but he'll be back very soon.
I can imagine moving that piano in the back has taken you guys quite some time. So
you've no idea. I had to move all of this from the Alps. It was so hard.
So yeah, I definitely co-sign this, as I said earlier on Twitter, and I wasn't even joking. That they are my favorite podcast to listen to. If I did listen to mine, obviously mine would be number one because I'm that guy, Kevin Smith. I'm a whore for myself. That's fine. But those guys do awesome work. I love what they do, and they are amazing people. I'm not just saying this because I talked to them on Twitter. They're amazing people, and you're not going to be upset with them.
And we've legit met in real life, so you know he's telling the truth.
We're planning on doing it again. So
yes, we are.
This is a co-signing as co-sign gets. Go check these guys out, as well as the Slam Sessions, as I've been telling you every damn week. Go watch it. And when you watch his stuff, go watch his old stuff too, because he's got plenty for you to check out. And with that, you're already here. If you're new, subscribe, all that good stuff so you can see me again next week. Hopefully we'll have Tidy back. We missed you, bud. Hopefully you're back next week. But again, as always, things in life happen, and those things need to be taken care of. That's what he's off doing. So with that said, thank you all for joining me. Thank you for joining, Nick. It has been a pleasure. I don't even care that we went way long
mate.
tonight because this was amazing and
what a blast
of fun. So with that said, don't forget, everybody, you know the deal. Just enjoy wrestling. If not anything else, just enjoy wrestling because that's why we're here. And AW Collision is still the best show on the show on TV. Thank you.
Agreed.